What's going on, everybody? This is Rob here at the Grand Rapids Comic Con, and I'm sitting next to my man, Mr. TJ, sir. How you doing?
What's going on? Fantastic. Good morning, guys.
All right. So I met TJ the first day of the Comic Con, and he actually has a really cool comic that stood out to me quite a bit. We'll get to that in just a moment, but I do want to know first and foremost, how long have you been in the comics industry?
I would say I've been in the comics industry professionally as an independent for about a year and a half. So I'm really new. I've only got 2 books out. But when it comes to the actual business, I started working for Marvel in 2009. I worked for them for about a year and a half. And then I started my own thing after that. So I guess you could say a few years technically, but yeah, I guess you could say that.
Right on. Marvel's a pretty big heavy hitter, man. How'd you come across that gig?
Well, I was actually going to college at the time, and they have a really good internship program. So if you're in college and you actually want to spread your wings and try different types of internships to get practical experience for something you like me, I always love comics. Marvel's a good place to try, and you can actually go right on their website and you can get all the information you need for that internship.
Right on. Where'd you go to college?
New Jersey City University. Yeah, I came out of Grand Rapids in 2001 and then went to school out in Jersey because my mom's actually from Jersey, so I stayed with my grandparents for a little bit, went to school, went to the internship, and then been doing my thing ever since.
Right on. So I was reading the books. Yes. And I know one major thing that stood out, and it was one point that really drawed me into this, is your hero, your main character, Kale, is a character of color.
Yeah, he is.
And we're starting to see more and more of that in comics now. What led to the decision, obviously, outside of the obvious, what led to the decision to make your main hero a person of color?
Really the decision came about when it just was thinking about the need overall and what the demographics look like in comics. Obviously the majority looks one way, and there's nothing wrong with that for them, but I think for us, we need something that is a little bit more different, a little bit more unique, that really kids and adults and everyone in between can relate to. And also, I guess it comes back to my need and my want to see more characters of color in comics from the time I was a kid, buying comics in Grand Rapids in either Argos or Goldmine or Apparitions. There wasn't many interesting, unique-looking characters, with the exception of maybe like Spawn, or let's say like Shadowhawk, which was really big in the 90s, which he eventually died off. So there's lots of cool characters that have existed, but I want to make a cool character that's not, again, that's something that was perfect for young kids to relate to while they started, liking comic books. So something like that.
All right. Now, I want to jump right into the main story because it jumped out at me quite a bit.
Yeah.
You have Kale, who is a young man of extraordinary brain power. He's very smart, very intelligent.
That's right.
And he comes across this unawakened ability. Give us a little more about the story and a little, not too much, but a little bit of the backstory.
You got it. So, the first issue 1 right here, focuses on Kale while he's a little bit younger, right? And he's actually getting ready to go to college, starting to kind of like figure out the direction of his life. And we do touch on issues like bullying as well as overcoming one's fears, things like that. Not allowing that to deter you from your goals, your dreams, and also really any type of fear or obstacles. That's what this book's, and all of these books are really about, is overcoming obstacles, no matter which issue you read. But the story takes a little bit of a turn when he actually is being pursued by these 4 hunter characters who come from the future. As they get closer to him, he actually starts to react and change in not such a positive way. Something starts to happen to him. Again, I could ruin it and tell you what happens, but everyone's got to read, they got to get into it. But his particular ability is so special and so sought after that 4 superpowered warriors that kind of look like this in their armored form come all the way from the future to acquire that ability. So as they get closer to him, something does happen, and that ability starts to awaken. I guess I could tell you that without ruining it.
And without giving too much away.
Exactly.
So we got the prequel. We have issue number 1.
That's right.
When's issue 2 dropping?
Issue 2 is going to be out probably, I'd say, January or February next year. My goal next year is to actually bring out 2 books, issue 2 and 3. So everybody, when we get on social media, I'll be plugging it. You'll see all the stuff that I'm talking about. And ultimately, we're going to just continue to put these out. There's no reason to stop, so we're just going to keep on doing them.
Got to keep the momentum going.
That's
for
right.
Sure. So one thing that stood out to me on, I can't remember which issue it was, but it had the 2016 San Diego Comic Con exclusive.
That's right.
Which means you're sort of a vet of Comic Cons. How's the feedback? How's the vibe been at the Comic Cons that you've been to so far?
That's a great question. I would say, well, technically, I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm a vet. I would say I'm slightly seasoned. You know, a little bit of seasoned salt, a little bit of pepper and salt on here.
Right on.
I actually started attending Comic Cons back in 2005. So I've been walking the show for 9+ years, just understanding what the fan's perspective. And I think that really helps too, because when you're behind the table, you can understand what the fan wants, which helps me to deliver a better product to everyone who comes by. And because, I've always been a fan too, and, I understand each side of it. So I would say it was 2015 when I was like, look, I'm doing things professionally now. I'm going to start working these shows. So I started at San Diego Comic Con, the biggest in the world, which I got very, very lucky and fortunate and blessed to have that opportunity. So we did a really good job. It was me, my brother, and my father. We sold out of a whole bunch of copies, which was a big feat in itself to be a no name and sell out of your books. But that's like the strength of the work and the story. People really liked it. And then I wanted to do New York Comic Con, and I did also something in New Jersey. So I did 3 shows last year. And this year, I'm pushing myself to do more shows. So I've done San Diego Comic Con, New York Comic Con, ChemFest. I've got this show, Grand Rapids Comic Con. I've got East Coast Comic Con. I've got, and I also did a Newark, New Jersey Comic Convention too. So I went from 3 to 6 in 1 year. So really, like, pushing yourself is one way, I guess, to really see what the potential is with different markets, because each show has a different demographic of people. Everyone thinks a little bit differently or buys differently in New York and in San Diego and New Jersey and Michigan. It depends on really the demographic of people. One thing I love about Grand Rapids Comic Con is people are incredibly friendly here, and they're open to independent books. So people like me do really well here, and it's my first time working the show. I walked the show years ago, but it's my first time being an actual exhibitor and an artist. So far the experience has been really good.
Right on. Last question, man. Probably one of the most important things. How do you yourself keep the creative wheels going when you're writing a book?
It's a good question, because every artist goes through creative blocks. Every single artist, when you're a writer, videographer, painter, artist, whatever you want to call it, you always go through creative blocks. It's in seasons, and it's like a roller coaster. So I would say one thing that fuels me creatively is coming to these shows and meeting new people like you guys and the fans, honestly, because you guys are the reason why I do what I do. I don't make a whole bunch of money at this. I still work a regular job and then put comics out. So it's more or less about the love for what we do, which keeps me going. And look, people love the first issue 0, and they love issue 1. And now it's like, man, they keep asking me about issue 2, so I got to get it out. And the script's already done for issue 2. I just got to start drawing it. So we're wheels will start turning. But I would say trying to do something every single day, whether it's sketching or doodling or finish complete pieces. Excuse me. Every single day, do something that will help you keep those wheels turning. But also accept when the wheels don't need to turn. Accept some downtime, relax. Don't relax too much, because then it's going to hit. There's going to be some rust on those wheels.
You don't want any stagnation.
Exactly. Yeah.
Absolutely. Cool, man. I appreciate you being on today.
My pleasure.
Last thing.
Yes, sir.
Where can the people find you on all of the social media networks?
People can find me on Instagram. My full, you can know my government name now. It's Taylor J Sterling. That's my Instagram name. You can also follow at RAE Comics. That's at RAE Comics, and that's the comic book Instagram. You can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/RAE Comics, RAE Comics. You can also find me on my website. It's at raecomics.com, raecomics.com. You can follow me there. You can also buy prints, t-shirts, phone case. You get all that stuff on that website. So follow me, find me, at me, like me, all that good stuff.
All that good stuff.
Yes,
cool,
sir.
man. So listen, I appreciate you being on today,
my guy.
man.
Thank you.
Thank you for being on.
Yes,
Make sure you pick up both issues of Okemus wherever you can.
That's right.
Wherever. Follow them on Instagram. Go to the website. Thanks so much, man.
My pleasure,
Appreciate
man.
it.
Thank you.